Why are you doing this? This is not date etiquette. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Amy, and today is going to be a story time and an eating video because I'm eating while I tell the story and I'm really hungry and I don't want to stop. So, Arby's, and we've also got boyfriend passenger.
Hello.
So this story starts with 18-year-old Amy, almost 19, fresh out of her first relationship that was like a year and a half long, the love of my life, and we had just broken up because things were going really poorly. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on a Tinder date. Because why not? Like, everybody uses Tinder, and I'm an 18-year-old girl, I should go on a Tinder date. And I find this, like, sweet-looking guy that is kind of nerdy, and I'm like, alright, this'll do. So we chat for a little bit. I'm not gonna disclose his name, because I'm still not gonna say his name, but it rhymes with schmerick. And I went to this guy's apartment. Well, I drove there in my ex's car, so that was probably a bad choice. I was crying before I even got there. I drove to the parking lot of a grocery store that was like 2 blocks from his apartment at the address that he sent me, and I couldn't find his apartment, so I sat in the parking lot of this grocery store and I cried because I was stressed out. I was like, nothing ever works out. Like, I can't even go on a date right. Maybe I'm just not supposed to be happy. And like, I was just freaking out, having a panic attack in my car. And I texted him, I was like, I'm like 2 blocks away, I'm in my car, and I can't find your address. So he like walked outside, so I had to drive by and try and find the place again. I got there, I did a really shitty, embarrassing job of parking, and I had to try like 3 different times to get into the tiny little spot, because he lived on college campus, and the apartment was really tiny and shitty, and the parking lot was really tiny and shitty. So I tried like 3-4 different times to park. Gave up on that eventually and just left it shitty. I went into his apartment and we were like barely talking. It was like, hi, nice to finally meet you, and then it was just like awkward quiet. I need a couple burger bites.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're like a quarter of the way in. So I go into this guy's apartment and there's instantly red flags. The first red flag is that his couch looks like my grandma's, and that is the only piece of furniture in the living room. Second red flag. He instantly starts telling me about all of his kitchen appliances, how they match, they have lemons on them, and his ex got them for him. So he's clearly not over his ex either. I'm like, okay, this is a good starting place, because we're both gonna be really awkward. It's gonna be like, we're both not over our exes, and we're just trying to have like an awkward date. Well, I sit down on his little grandma couch and I'm like looking around. There's a big ass TV, which I'm like, okay, cool. He tells me that he's like in college for science and he like dropped out because he was bored, and I was like, okay. Was also kind of surprised at the amount of video game collectibles that this boy had. All sorts of little figurines from video games on like a glass shelf, and he had like a Nintendo Switch, which had like came out like the week before. Like, they were hard to get. He had like the Nintendo Switch, and he had an Xbox and a PlayStation and an old Nintendo. And I was like, okay, this kid's a serious gamer. And he was like, do you want to watch a movie? And I was like, yeah, okay. Throws a weighted blanket at me, and I had never used a weighted blanket before, and since then I've come to find that I hate them. I feel suffocated. I know a lot of people think that they like help with anxiety. For me personally, no. It makes me feel like I'm suffocating and I'm like claustrophobic and I can't move. But he throws this weighted blanket at me. He's like, it's so soft. I was like, oh, it is really soft, I'm gonna steal it. And I was like joking, and he's like, no, you can't steal it.
That's wrong.
And he like got all serious, and I was like, I was just kidding. Like, it's okay, I'm not gonna steal your crappy weighted blanket. I don't really actually like it. He opens Netflix and he puts on the movie Tusk. If you have not seen the movie, don't fucking watch it. It is about a psychopathic man that kidnaps another man and turns him into a human. What are those animals that have tusks and they just lay on their stomachs? A walrus. He turns another man into a human walrus, and that is what the entire movie is about. And it's Psychotic Man. It's like Human Centipede, but worse, and not as much plotline, and not as gross, but not a date movie. Like, why? But during this movie, he like put his hand on my leg, like right on my knee, not like all creepy or anything, and I just like scooted away a little bit. And I felt really bad, but it was awkward. And like, you know when someone puts their hand on you and it's like, it's just like heavy and they just put it in one spot and they don't move and it just feels weird. So I moved away, and then he put his head in my lap, but like really awkwardly. Like just like. And then we watched the rest of the movie, and my phone was about to die, and I didn't have anybody to really text and be like, hey, call me and get me the fuck out of here. And he was like, you want to watch another movie or like watch some videos? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's watch some videos. He puts on some comedian on YouTube, and I'm like half listening, trying to text some people and get a reason to be leaving. I finally was like, I think I gotta go, it's getting late. It was like 9:30. I was like, I gotta go. He was like all sad, kind of butthurt about it. And I left, and I did not text him back. I did not call the next day or anything. He was just so much like my older brother, and it was such an awkward, horrible experience. Oh my god. And I forgot that he like showed me pictures of his ex-girlfriend on his phone. I was like, why? Why are you doing this? This is not date etiquette. But yeah, like this video if you want another story time of my second and last Tinder date. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content of me. Yes, have a fantastic day, and I hope you ate some food with me in this video and got some nutrients. And peace out.